Time for our in-depth look at the tropics. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist John Dawson. We're here every day of hurricane season, diving in, expanding on everything out there. And yes, it's another one of those situations where it's quite a bit to talk about, actually. The headliner, of course, is still going to be Tropical Storm Dexter. It's about to lose its tropical characteristics. So it's about to be post-tropical or extratropical. It's however you want to call it. When we get to tomorrow about this time, it's going to be struggling to still be a tropical system, but it's going to kind of act like one, and it's going to continue to move out into the Atlantic away from land. That's all good news. We like that. Here's the official forecast track. Notice that as it continues to move, it might even get strong enough winds of 75 miles an hour. Again, whether that it's still a tropical system or an extratropical system, we'll kind of have to let that unfold. But no matter what, we like the way this thing is headed. We like the direction. Keep on heading out with that. Now, we've been watching a couple other areas with the National Hurricane Center looking for possible development. The first one was pretty much just centered right along the Carolinas yesterday. It's expanded out a little bit more because it's going to need a little bit more time for something to develop. Over the next 7 days, there's a 30% chance. So the next 48 hours, I don't think anything's going to happen, but this could become a system and kind of get pulled out into the Atlantic. So it might start making some rain initially for the Carolinas and part of the East Coast, but I think eventually it's going to get pulled out into the Atlantic. We take a look at our Fox weather model to sort of see exactly where it forms. Of course, will depend on how much activity it gives the East Coast, but notice this little bit of a spiral here starts to get kind of pulled out. And again, this is only a 30% chance of development, but you see how that becomes more of a broader area of low pressure. Maybe not enough to be a tropical system, but that's kind of the idea there in that 3 to 7 day time frame. Now let's shift gears, get back here in the Atlantic. This has increased in size as far as where we might see a tropical system form, and we've bumped it up a little bit. The National Hurricane Center now saying it's a 60% chance over that 7 day period, and we still have a tropical wave that's kind of moving that direction. A couple different things. You've got some Saharan dust, you've got a little bit of upper level winds that's fighting it. Those things are not going to help it develop, and so I don't think this is really going to turn into something very strong, although I think it is very likely that we could get a depression or tropical storm out of this particular system. Now, this again, as I mentioned, we're going to be kind of dealing with the Saharan dust that's going to keep this system from really blowing up into something strong. It's going to continue to fight that as it does move on through. It's still something worth watching if you're in the East Coast, but the folks for us over here in the Gulf, Texas, we're not as concerned about that. Now, what we are concerned about, and everybody's a little bit more focused on, is the next tropical wave. So this is the one that we're talking about right now on our GFS Futurecast. It's going to continue to head out. It's going to fight conditions. It's going to be weak. But watch what happens here. As we get to the end of the weekend, we've got a next tropical wave beginning to roll off of the coast. And this one, at least in the long-range models, is showing a little bit more organization. You see that little circulation that's happening there, and it's also staying a little bit lower in latitude, and that's one of those situations in which that would help it get into the Gulf, and then of course impact any of the states or countries around the Gulf. But that's a long-range model. It's just something we're watching. Wanted you to know about it. We're a little bit more concerned, to be honest, with that system than we are the one that's already a tropical wave and in the Atlantic, just because of the way the models are handling it. And yes, we get to August, historically speaking, and we see the activity ramping up, and that is certainly the case this year, and we're going to expect to see maybe another tropical wave or another system continuing to move in. And when you look at named storms, here's that formation zone, that major zone area that we see that formation taking place, and it's kind of doing exactly what we expect to do when we get to this month. Now, when we look up for hurricanes, though, this red area is showing a favorite area where hurricanes sometimes form, and that's also where, again, we've got an area that the Hurricane Center is watching. Is it going to, are we confident it'll turn into a hurricane? No, this particular one probably not, but I just wanted to show you that where we normally see activity in August, that's certainly what we are seeing. And if you're keeping score at home, the next name on the list is Aaron. So if any of these areas that I've been talking about get enough organization and become a tropical storm, remember, not a depression, but a tropical storm, then Aaron will be the next name on the list. And I do want to give you a quick update. Colorado State University, they now update their outlooks each month. And so the August outlook is going to be the same numbers that they had for July. So they're holding steady with the whole season having 16 named storms, 8 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes, and that's still considered an above average season that we're going to be looking for overall. All right, that's going to do it for our tropical update today. Make sure you're back here every day of hurricane season a little bit after 4 o'clock Central Time for your next update tomorrow.